Slutsky equation is basically derived by Slutsky and it is quite popular. We have actually heard about the terms that are called price effect, income effect, substitution effect, but we actually don't know the actual basis or source of these terms or terminologies. For understanding the actual sources of these terminologies, that is price effect, substitution effect, income effect, we have to understand the Slutsky equation. That is the actual basis of this price effect, income effect, and substitution effect. Now, at first I will simply tell the price effect. This video will not be a very complex video because Slutsky equation is complex topics, but I will just represent it as simple as it can be. Now, at first I will derive the price effect. What is price effect? Price effect is basically the change in the quantity demand of a good for the change in the quantity demand of a good due to 1 unit change in the price, or due to change in the price. You may say due to change in the price. Now suppose the quantity of potato that I have demanded for 20 rupees a kilo is 3 kilos. So I am demanding 3 kilo potatoes if the price of the potato is 20 rupees per kilo. Now, if the price of the potato has become 30 rupees per kilo, I will not be able to demand 3 kilo potatoes now. I will demand 2 kilos of potato now. So, what is the effect of the price change? What is the effect of change of the price in my consumption or in my quantity demand? That is represented by price effect. So price effect very simply tells us the change in the quantity demand due to change in the price, and we may write it mathematically that del qx by del px. So del qx by del px actually represents that by change in the price of x, that is del px, how much will the quantity demand of x be affected, that is del qx. So del qx del px or del qx by del px is termed as the price effect that tells us the amount of change in the quantity demand due to 1 unit or due to change in price. You may not tell 1 unit, that is not necessary to tell 1 unit, but if you want to clarify more, you may tell 1 unit, that is also okay. Now, let me clear some other terminologies also. What is income effect and what is substitution effect? At first I will tell you about what is income effect. Now, income effect is basically change in the quantity demand due to change in the income. Suppose I used to earn 60 rupees a day. Now, suddenly, okay, let me clarify the previous income portion a little bit more. Suppose I used to earn 60 rupees per day earlier, and I used to buy 2 kilos of potato with that 60 rupees. Now suddenly my income has increased. And my income currently is 90 rupees. So I will now consume 3 kilos of potato because of my income has increased. So the change in the quantity demand due to change in the income, that is called income effect. Mathematically it is represented as del qx by del I or del qx del I. So this is basically the income effect. The quantity or change in the quantity demand due to change in the price due to change in the income, sorry. So this is called income effect. And another one terminology that I want to clear is the substitution effect. That is also important. Now, what is substitution effect? Substitution effect is basically change in the quantity demand due to change in the price, but that change in the quantity demand will give you the same amount of utility that you were obtaining from the before the change in the price. That means suppose I am obtaining or I am getting 20 utils of utility. Utils is the measurement unit of utility. Now suppose I used to obtain 20 utils of utility, and after the change in the price of the commodity, I may consume more of that good and less of another good, or I may consume less of that good or more of another good. That doesn't matter, but I should get the equal level of utility, that is the 20 utils, as I was getting before. So the utility level or utility ranking must remain constant, and if the utility remains constant, and by taking that utility constant, the effect of change in the price, that will be or the effect of change in the quantity demand due to change in the price, that will be termed as substitution effect. So this is the basis of the Slutsky equation. Tells us that price effect, that is the del qx by del px, this is the sum of, or this is basically the total of the substitution effect, that is del qx del px, keeping utility constant, that is u bar, and qx into del px into del qx by del I. Here del qx del I, that is basically the income effect, change in the quantity demand due to change in the income.